All right, let's get right into the Week 17 Blue Rush, mixed with a little Tyree's take. We got Super Bowl champ David Tyree on with his takes on all the storylines coming out of the Giants' win in the Tank Bowl over the Raiders, and he can preview the Cowboys game for us a little bit. DT, it finally happened. We got a look. Eating dubs, baby. Eating dubs, baby.
Thank you for Jameis, baby. We love you, baby. We finally eating.
And shout out to Jameis for sticking up for quarterback coach Shea Tierney on the sideline, too, getting into it with Jamal Adams. But let's get straight into this, man, because there are reports out there that the Giants are open to draft a quarterback with the first or the second overall pick. Jaxson Dart was asked about it after they beat the Raiders, and here's what he said. Then let's talk about it.
Out of the game that the Giants have lost, if you guys have lost, got them on pick. Evaluated all options, including at quarterback. Did you hear about that report before the game?
No, I did not.
Hearing that, what is that? I guess, how do you process something like that?
I mean, I think I'm going to continue to play my ball. I know I'm going to be here for a very long time, and I'm just excited to, start winning more games and, turn this place around and do my job. And we have a bright future. And, that was one thing that I was just standing on the sideline, and I'm watching Abdul ball. I'm watching DA ball. I'm watching, Scott was here today. And when you just think about, like, this rookie class, I think that, we have a really bright future, and we're going to be a big pivot and turn this thing around.
For somebody from Utah, he sure do sound Southern. Like, he sound like Johnny Moxon from Friday Night, from Varsity Blues. I don't want your life. But here, let me get back on topic. Two-part question here, DT. Yeah. Do you think the Giants are playing poker by letting a report like that get out? And do you think Jaxson Dart should have even responded to a question like that?
Yeah, I think it was a slow, calculated response, which means that he was probably somewhat semi-aware. And it's the reality of the business, but you have to engage it at some level. Here's the Giants, right? To answer that first part, business is always open, right? And some GMs, they or organizations, they can handle it two particular ways. Keep your players on edge, right? And never remove the possibility of something that's actually a possibility. And then there's the overwhelming vote of confidence that you could just put behind your guy. And they just chose to go the other route, but I do believe that the Giants are all in on Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, I'm without a doubt, and I feel like you got to play your poker cards there, because if you just go out and they're like, no, we're looking for a defensive tackle, people aren't going to try and throw the farm at you to have to go back and and add draft capital if they're trying to trade up for that number 1 or number 2 spot to go and draft the quarterback. So Joe Shane playing a little bit poker there, absolutely liked it, and I'm with you. Yeah, go ahead, Jaxson Dart. Go, you put the swag out there. Like this is my job. This is my team. But the noise about him not being the future, I feel like is stupid. But it's also getting a little bit loud, especially on sports media. Jaxson Dart's dad ended up going back and forth with Danny Kanell on social media for what Danny Kanell said about trading Dart and using that top pick on a quarterback. Now, I know it's not Jaxson Dart himself that's responding, but you've been in player personnel. Do you think that's a bad look for him, since he is looked at as the future in the face of the franchise?
I think at the end of the day, parents are parents, and we're in a day where everyone has a voice. So it's in New York, you don't want to give extra talking points. But here's the reality: is Danny Kanell had a shot, and if you're looking for something to get in on, he took his chance to get in. Here's my talking point at the end of the day: this, Eli's on this Hall of Fame ballot. I know we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but I remember Eli's rookie season. Like it was abysmal. It was abysmal. I actually went back and looked at the stats, and I remember he actually had a game where he threw for 22 yards. Jaxson Dart's rookie year is phenomenal in comparison, and obviously he's a runner. There's nothing for Jaxson that he has to like overwhelmingly invest this great amount of energy in relation to sample size, to what the future could look like. So at the end of the day, Pop's coming to the aid. He was a little vulgar with it. But, hey, we out here in these streets. We out here in these Twitter streets. We out here in these X streets. You want something, you can come get some.
I clap back at people all the time when they mention BL2 in my Instagram stories, like, oh, maybe he shouldn't be going to sports bars with you and watch parties. I shout out, worry about your own kid. So I can't wait. I pray I get in a position to be like Jaxson Dart's dad, because I'm letting everybody know. Don't talk about my kid. Don't bring it here. All right, I've calmed down now. I shall move on. Let's talk about our guy Wan'Dale Robinson, man, because he has been a bright spot on this season outside of Brian Burns. Got his 1,000-yard receiving yards on the year, and it's a contract year. Cha-ching. They re-signed Darius Slayton to an extension last offseason. You got Malik Neighbors on a rookie deal coming back from injury. If you're Wan'Dale, they traded up to get you in the second round that draft year, and you finally got a quarterback. What do you do now? Do you re-sign, or do you just look for a fresh start somewhere else?
If I'm Wan'Dale, I'm looking to re-sign. And I think the Giants are going to have some opportunities to widen the gap in relation to salary cap and keep the ingrown. You want to start to cultivate this cadence of keeping the talent that you have cultivated, right? Like when you draft a guy and they prove that they can play at a high level in this league, and I think this was a big stepping stone for Wan'Dale. And when you really start talking about the future of the receiver room, you want that kind of consistency. And now he's got rhythm with Jaxson Dart. So this was a big plus, crossing that threshold of 1,000 yards, being the consistent contributor. Even if it wasn't all razzle-dazzle, didn't have a whole lot of 100-yard games, but he was consistently being a contributor in so many different ways, and he can affect the game in so many different ways. And he has the grit and the grind to be able to do that. Even with the Giants continue to look to add toward the receiver room, even with the veteran like Slayton, who's had his ups and downs, with Malik Neighbors coming back, I'm still looking at drafting receiver and continue to cultivate that. But Wan'Dale's in line. He's in line for that. Hopefully he's looking to stay home and not necessarily just break the bank, because there's no place like home, especially in New York.
Yeah, he's shown that he could be a core guy here. He shows that he plays up to like the Giants standard, and fan base absolutely love the kid. Little Mighty Mouse, always, like you said, consistent, gets hit, gets up. He's a couple hits he didn't take, and I've been like, all right, let's hope you got that degree, because you go ahead and retire off of that one. But he gets up, plays hard. And the fact that he's one of multiple unrestricted free agents Joe Schoen is going to have to make a decision on this offseason. I want to get Tyree's take on what Joe Schoen could do or should do. So I'm going to name some of the bigger name guys whose contract expires after this Cowboys game. You tell us who can stay, who goes, and why. First up, Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson.
Oh, we appreciate your contribution as a humanitarian, Russell, but offered very little for us in a very short sample size. That's the only positive thing I could say. Maybe took him off the leash a little too quick, but at the end of the day, man, I want to thank you and Sierra for your for adding to page 6 of the New York Post in any other way. But that's the only thing that he added for this franchise. So we'll see you later. We're gonna miss the concerts and my girl shaking it up, but that's all it was.
The way you said, I knew something was coming with that take. Like I know you since my rookie year. I knew something was coming. Next up, right tackle Jermaine Illuminor.
I'm a little bit torn in Jermaine, because I do believe that he probably settled in this year, but I expected a little bit more consistency. And I think toward the latter half of this year, the Giants have run the ball consistently this year. And to say that as a veteran present, I'm a little bit torn. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think he commanded that opportunity at this stage in his career. I think they got to go youth or someone that's actually going to command that right tackle position in a little bit more of an authoritative way. They need something stronger than what I've seen from Jermaine. So if I had to say, stay or go, say bye-bye.
Last but not least, Cor'Dale Flott proved to be the best perimeter corner on the team this year. Did miss some games again because of injury. Do you re-sign Cor'Dale Flott?
I personally do. When I look at this, there's been a slow progression, whereas, you wanted to see more from this talent earlier on. But you always saw a steady. It reminds me of Corey Webster, but not at the height. But this year was a stamp to prove. Pro football. I mean, like, just completely proved that he was starter worthy and produced. Not a lot of interceptions, but when you look at statistically, he's breaking up half of the passes thrown his way, and that's pretty solid. Outperformed our high contract guy statistically at his position. So I'm looking to re-sign it again. Keep your in-house talent. It's hard to reproduce it, and I think they could actually, guys want to stay in New York, in my personal opinion. Hopefully, when they're shopping the market, you get that in-home discount.
Funny you say shopping, because Cor'Dale loves clothes. He loves the whole fashion thing, and I've shopped with him at Saks Fifth Ave. We shot something together. So New York is a place where, like, somebody like him from, I believe, like Alabama, country boys love to come up here and get involved with, like, the fashion and the culture and all that. So I like to see Cor'Dale stay as well. All right, DT, we got week 18 coming up, man. This is it. Like, this is the last dance for this season. Hasn't been what we all expected it to be. They got a chance to close out the season with 2 wins in a row. Mike Kafka can get 2 wins in a row for his head coaching resume as well. What's that mindset going in the locker room right now going into this game?
You know what? It's simply finished. I wish I could add a little bit more razzle dazzle to this. The Giants, when you're playing for personal pride, when you're in, and I hate to say it, I was like, I'm a little bit torn. The Giants are kind of locked in as a number 2. It's going to look like, but when it comes to beating the Cowboys, beating Jerry Jones, having a division game to finish the season with, this will be a win well worth taking positive energy into the offseason in light of the optimism, in light of, free agency and how they can position themselves for the future. We heard Jaxson Dart talk about Cam Scatterbo. We talk about this rookie class, and some of maybe the reposition of this free agent market with guys who could depart. They want to be able to stamp this and a big W against the Cowboys coming in. I think this is what you want. The personal pride, get the dub, send everybody out with a clean slate, and give everybody the best opportunity to write a resume in 2026.
Lastly, you mentioned Eli and his horrible rookie year. He's named one of the 15 finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Luckily, there wasn't that much social media back then, because who knows what they would have said about him after that rookie year. He didn't make it in last year, but is this the year that Eli Manning gets into Canton?
I certainly hope so. When I look at some guys who've been passed up year in and year out, I certainly believe he deserves to make it. 2-time Super Bowl winning champion. We know that the primary accolades of why Eli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I still think it's a little bit of a toss-up in relation to expediency, just because of win-loss record and some of those other metrics. But I'm personally looking forward to seeing my dog get in. And number one, he deserves it. Number two, you won't find someone with more of the it factor that I believe, maybe aside from like an old school Terry Bradshaw, who just had it. He just had the juice, especially when it was playoff time. And beating Tom Brady twice is one hell of a feather in the cap. So let me in now. Let me in now. Come on, man. It's time to let my boy in. Easy E. I hope you get this one from your boy. Help. We share that birthday together. We share the moment together. And my helmet's in the hall, so hopefully he'll meet my helmet at the Hall of Fame.
Ooh, I like the way you ended there, DT. He said,
I ain't getting no yellow jacket, but the helmet's in there, baby.
Hey. That's green enough. If that's green enough.
We out there.
There you go, man. DT, appreciate you hopping on, man, and thank you guys for not watching another episode of Blue Rush times Tyree's Takes.